Tonight, we revisit an era when British rock royalty walked the same stages and sometimes stepped on each other's toes. Rod Stewart once joked that he and Elton John were friendly rivals, two stars rising at the same time, pushing each other with equal parts admiration and competitiveness. And in the middle of all that glam, spectacle, and unmatched musicianship stood Elton John, the Rocket Man himself. An artist who sold over 300 million records, redefined pop performance, and never hesitated to tell the world exactly what he thought. For more than 50 years, Elton charmed fans with his flamboyant costumes, piano wizardry, and unmistakable melodies. But behind the glasses and glitter was a brutally honest man, someone who refused to pretend he liked a band if he didn't. His feuds, criticisms, and outspoken opinions became legendary, creating headlines and sparking public battles with some of the most iconic groups in music history. No one was too big for Elton to dozen surprise, call out not punk rebels, not arena rock gods, and certainly not his fellow British legends. Today, we're counting down the 10 bands Elton John allegedly despised the most. These weren't mild disagreements. Sources claim some were full-blown musical wars that shook the industry, damaged friendships, and divided fan bases. So buckle up. Here we go. 1. Led Zeppelin. And finally, number 1. Led Zeppelin, Elton John's alleged greatest rivalry. Sources claim Elton despised their heavy, mystical, blues rock style. He reportedly called Robert Plant's vocals screaming without melody, and dismissed Jimmy Page's guitar solos as self-indulgent noise. Witnesses say Elton once told Plant that Zeppelin's music would fade away while his melodic pop rock would be remembered forever. He allegedly saw Zepp as everything excessive about rock culture, occult symbolism, endless solos, overwhelming volume, and theatrical mystique. Their confrontations at industry events throughout the 70 seconds have become rock folklore. 2. The Beatles. Yes, number 2 is the Beatles, the most iconic band of all time. Elton respected them, but sources claim he deeply resented living in their shadow. He allegedly felt critics held the Beatles to mythic, untouchable standards while dismissing his equally significant contributions. Rumor has it, Elton refused to perform at certain Beatles tribute shows unless he received top billing. Insiders say Elton believed the Beatles' legend grew far beyond their actual music, and he wanted recognition for shaping modern pop in ways critics often ignored. 3. Queen. At number 3 sits a surprising name, Queen. Elton and Freddie Mercury were extremely close friends, but that friendship didn't erase Elton's competitive streak. Sources claim Elton privately felt overshadowed by Freddie's extraordinary voice and theatrical stage presence. Throughout the 70 seconds and 80 seconds, critics constantly compared the two, which reportedly fueled quiet resentment. Insiders say Elton lost several major concert bookings to Queen, and while he genuinely loved Freddie, the rivalry never fully disappeared. Elton reportedly believed some of Queen's experimental music became too grand, too operatic, and too far removed from emotional simplicity. 4. Guns N' Roses. At number 4 is Guns N' Roses, one of the biggest bands of the late 80 seconds and early 90 seconds. Elton admired their talent, but allegedly despised their attitudes. Sources claim he called Axl Rose the most difficult person in the industry, criticizing his lateness, ego, and controlling perfectionism. Elton reportedly refused to appear at festivals if Guns N' Roses were on the bill, believing they were too unreliable. He felt the band wasted their potential. Through constant internal drama and self-destructive behavior, something Elton recognized from his own past struggles. 5. The Rolling Stones. Now we enter the top 5, and it gets personal. Number 5 is The Rolling Stones, a band Elton admired musically, but reportedly clashed with publicly. According to sources, Elton believed the Stones stayed active far longer than they should have. He allegedly said they were old men, pretending to be dangerous, and he found their late-career tours embarrassing. One rumored confrontation at a London party has become the stuff of legend. Elton accused Mick Jagger of repeating the same performance for 50 years, while Mick fired back by mocking Elton's costume changes. Elton supposedly rejected multiple charity appearances simply because the Stones were headlining. The rivalry may have never been fully resolved. 6. Duran Duran. Number 6 gives us the new wave titans Duran Duran. Despite both being British stars, Elton allegedly resented their rapid success during the 80 Seconds MTV boom. He reportedly compared their style to robots having a dance party, arguing their synthesizer-heavy sound lacked warmth and emotional depth. Insiders say Elton hated how the visual era of MTV favored image over artistry, and Duran Duran became the poster children of that shift. He allegedly grew frustrated when they repeatedly beat him for awards, believing his piano-driven music was far superior to what he saw as manufactured pop. 7. Mötley Crüe. At number 7 is Mötley Crüe, the kings of hair, metal, and chaos. Elton allegedly saw them as reckless kids pretending to make music. Sources claim he called them immature boys playing dress-up, blasting their simplistic songs and dangerous lifestyles. He publicly criticized bands like Mötley Crüe for glorifying drug abuse, saying it sent the wrong message to young fans. Elton reportedly believed they cared more about partying than practicing, and he refused invitations to several rock festivals throughout the 80 Seconds simply because hair metal bands dominated the lineup. 8. Kiss. Coming in at number 8 is Kiss, the larger-than-life rock group known for face paint, fire, and theatrics. But for Elton, their whole act felt like a spectacle drowning out the music. Sources say Elton dismissed Kiss as a circus masquerading as a band. He believed they relied on gimmicks because the songs weren't strong enough to stand alone. Rumor has it he even rejected a high-paying collaboration opportunity, allegedly saying he wouldn't work with cartoon characters. Insiders say Elton felt Kiss proved marketing could overshadow talent, something he despised. To him, rock should be about songwriting and musical authenticity, not lunchboxes, action figures, and pyrotechnics. 9. Oasis. At number 9 is the band that defined 90 Seconds Britpop Oasis, the Gallagher brothers' creation. Elton allegedly found their music repetitive, unoriginal, and predictable. Sources claim he once remarked that every Oasis album sounded like the same song played 10 different ways. And then came the infamous argument between Elton and Liam Gallagher at a British event. Elton reportedly mocked Liam's voice as flat, while Liam retaliated by calling Elton an old has-been in fancy glasses. Elton allegedly believed Oasis were overpraised, insisting Noel Gallagher's songwriting was decent, but nowhere near the genius critics claimed. The feud dragged on for years, with both sides firing jabs during interviews, reinforcing Elton's view that Oasis represented lazy modern rock. 10. The Sex Pistols. We begin with punk's most chaotic ambassadors, the Sex Pistols. According to multiple insiders, Elton considered them talentless troublemakers, a band that represented everything he feared about the punk movement. Sources say Elton believed punk wasn't a revolution, it was destruction. He allegedly said the Pistols replaced melody and musicianship with noise, anger, and shock tactics. He reportedly called them three chords and a bad attitude, and dismissed Johnny Rotten as someone who couldn't sing, couldn't play, and didn't try. Rumor has it, Elton once refused to attend an awards show simply because the Sex Pistols were performing. Witnesses claimed he didn't want to be present for what he called the death of real musicianship. Insiders say Elton saw the Pistols as a symbol of young rebellion without craft, and the two sides exchanged indirect insults in interviews for years. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.